Welcome to Ancient Astrology with Sam and Verity.
Hi, I'm Sam Bagwell.
And I'm Verity Hebbs. And today's episode 30. We made it.
Yay, episode
We
30.
did it.
Yeah,
And it's also, we recently celebrated the
our,
podcast's second
our
birthday.
second birthday.
Mm,
Yeah, so
yeah.
hopefully you guys liked our birthday post
Yes.
on Instagram and,
Yes.
and Facebook.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're very proud of achieving 2 years.
Yeah.
We have busy lives, and I
Yes.
know I say that quite a lot,
Oh, it's,
but
yeah.
it is pretty crazy,
Yeah, we try to make
especially
it
both
work,
of us
don't
being
we?
in that Saturn year. We've all
Yeah.
made this work, and I'm really proud of both of us for doing that.
That's so true. I know when you joined me in the Saturn years, I was like, oh, it's going to get harder. And
Yeah,
it does. But yeah, I think we both love doing this and it's a
yeah,
passion of ours. So we try and make it work.
we do.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we're so excited
yeah.
and we thought we would celebrate with a Q&A today. So
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
this will be
So
good.
yeah, so we had one of the students
Mm.
ask about the houses,
Hmm.
and I really, episode 10 provides
Yes.
a thorough explanation on the houses.
Yep.
So eventually we'll examine the houses again through
Mm.
planets and the different planets running through different
Yes, they're
houses and
so
things like
connected.
that. Yeah, so we will, but if you're having problems with the houses, please go to episode 10. It
Yes.
it really is a good episode on the houses. And then I think we have a part one and a part two, and then we
Yes,
have
because we went
derived
through.
houses.
Yeah.
So, we've looked
Yeah.
at the houses quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, we looked at them quite closely. Yeah. So
Yeah,
episode 10, we recommend you give it a watch if you haven't already, or if you
yeah.
have, just watch it again. It's a good one.
Yeah. And don't forget to like it.
Yes, please.
And our last Q&A, you
Hmm.
asked about the 12th house, and we sort of
Yeah.
discussed that. And, I felt like that I don't really want to revisit
Mm.
that conversation. However, some students are using the 12th house for travel.
Oh,
And
okay. Mm.
somebody actually said in class, like, oh, does that mean that I'm going into a 12th house year that I'm going to travel? I was like, no, negative on that.
Mm.
Um, and I realized that there are some students who have picked up this concept from somewhere. And perhaps that is because they have those astrologers that are teaching that have got the Lord of the 12th in the fifth or in the ninth
Yes.
or ruling those
Yeah.
houses, or in the 12th and then ruling those two other
Yes.
houses, or they have strong aspects, between those houses as
Yeah.
well.
And then if you're listening to that and you have that as well, then
Mm,
you could be like, oh yeah, that happened to me when I was in my 12th house. Like for me, I've
exactly.
got Aries rising, Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter in the 12th.
Hmm.
And then I've also got the fifth house with Jupiter there. So I
Yeah.
have that connection in my ninth
Yeah.
house, of course, is Sag. So I do have that,
Mm.
but not everybody does. And yeah, so it doesn't mean it applies to everybody.
Yeah,
Mm.
and I just wondered where that idea of that particular topic came from, of the 12th house being ruling travel,
Yes.
because
I'm wondering if it's just that if they think it's to do with Aries being in the first
mm,
house, or sometimes people don't think that, but they think the Aries sort of themes that it's connected to like I didn't sorry, the first house themes are connected to Aries. You
mm,
know, that sort of connection. So
mm,
then they think, ah, the 12th house theme,
yeah,
Pisces,
mm,
Jupiter, maybe they sort of
yeah,
have lumped that
and
all
I'm
together.
sure that's where that concept comes
Yes.
from.
Because you looked into it, didn't you? You did some research.
Yeah, this morning I
Yeah.
just quickly had a look around, and it's pretty easy to go to, because most, like Venus Valens has pages on the houses, and
Hmm.
Deborah Holding has a fantastic book on houses. So,
Mm.
it was pretty easy just to go and have a look and see whether anybody that I had, that my fingers could
Just have a
reach the book.
check. Yeah, have a
Yeah,
quick check. Yep.
yeah, yeah. So I
That's
don't know
really
where
easy.
that has come from, but
Mm.
So because if you're not dealing with the right houses and you're using incorrect topics or people for those houses, you're going to get inaccurate
Yeah.
interpretations.
Yes.
Okay. And let's actually go to a chart that does have that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, great.
Okay. So this lady has Sag ruling, and she has Mars in that
Mm.
12th house, but she has Jupiter, the Lord of the 12th, in the 5th, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she actually happens to be in that year this year. And what is she doing? She's traveling right at this very moment.
Really amazing.
Yeah, but we'll look at that with our next question as well. So that's where, and that's where you'd get that idea. Like, so if you're in a,
Yes, it works out for her.
yeah,
Yes.
because that's
Mm-hmm.
why these lords are really important because
Yes.
they tell a story throughout life.
Exactly. But it's not just because it's 12th house year.
No.
It's because of the sign and yeah, where is the ruler of that sign?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Like for you, when you go into your 12th house year next year, you have Jupiter in the 5th house.
Yes.
And it would be like what we were saying before we start recording, it would be a 98% chance that you are going to be going on a holiday when you change your year over
Yeah.
in April.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's good.
okay. So
Fascinating.
stop sharing. Our next question is on perfection. And so this question's raised about, the Time Lord system perfection. And, we did do an episode on perfection, which was episode 24.
Yep.
And I would listen to the following episode 25 to do with the Fidaria within a week, so that it's all fresh in your head, even, within a week. So even the next day or straight away after, and listen to it a few times because that's how you learn how to
it is quite a
do
big
these techniques.
Concept at first, isn't it? But I think when you have a chart in front of you or you watch the video, if you can watch it instead of maybe just listening to it, you can sit and have a look. You can see, visually how it works. And I think that really helps.
Yeah.
Because it is quite a big concept, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's sort of broken down into smaller, simple steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to study horary for many years now, and every horary astrologer says it's really easy. But when you don't know what you're doing and you're studying something, it doesn't seem easy.
Yes.
And astrology really isn't that difficult if you have a really good foundation.
Exactly.
If you know your dignities and placement and houses, and you have the correct houses, this is the problem, and you have the correct rulership.
Yes, I agree, definitely.
Okay, so let's go back to our.
So the question, was it just sort of like asking us to re-explain perfections or run through it quickly?
Pretty much, So I just thought, I'll share this sheet again, once again.
Yeah, this is a great sheet.
Yeah. So thanks to Monica who designed this for me. So, the chart we're going to look at, the lady is 71, and so she will be in her 12th house year. And it doesn't really matter with the details because I can make up a month, let's say it's September. And so she's going to be in from September, let's say the 20th. She will go into her 12th house year. And then following that September the 20th, she will go into the first house, which is the second perfected house. And that will be the 20th of October.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. Yes. So it's kind of like you look at it at a snapshot, like for her whole year, she's 12th house year, but exactly as we move through each month, she moves into a different sort of like chapter of that
Yeah.
story of the year.
Yeah, but those Time Lords become very significant, right? Because they get a chance to
really sort of shine, don't
yeah,
they? Yeah,
yeah.
and sort of have their full sort of moment of
Yeah,
expressing themselves.
exactly. Yeah. So, she doesn't have these Mars health issues constantly
Yeah.
throughout her whole life. She has it during those Time Lords, So last year when she was in a Scorpio year, when she turned 70, she would have had all this kind of health things going on. And Mars being in the opposition to its joy is not a favorable place for Mars to be.
Yes, and she's a day, like a diurnal chart as well, isn't
Yes,
she? So
it's a malefic of sect
yeah.
as well. So, their Jupiter is in the fifth house, so a no-brainer that she will be on holidays and she'll be traveling. We have Jupiter that also makes aspects to planets and the Lord of the ninth. So that's already saying there's a long distance holiday,
Yes.
something overseas. And we also have Mars, which also makes an aspect to these planets in the ninth house. So we're getting a lot of information, and it really is, to me, very obvious that this would be happening for this native. And there will be good and bad. And so okay, so we've got Jupiter, fantastic. We've got some good things going on, but we've got her malefic of sect also in that house. So that's also going to cause her problems. So it's not a perfect year.
No, and would you say it could be like whatever the health issues were from the previous year are carrying over?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. And all the things that Mars rules, blood, cough, colds, flus, viruses, surgery, incisions, needles, what we would expect something from that, but that is just a tip of the iceberg.
Yes, exactly. And could potentially, because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, could it end up being that there's like a resolution to it or something positive for it, even though it's Mars?
Would be something positive comes from it, or she seeks the help that she needs.
Yes, she finds
maybe it's free, like where
Yes.
she's going, it's free. It might be a government hospital or whatever.
Yeah.
The 12th house is hospital, so we'll have to add that into the conversation. It's also Sag. So Sag is, especially Sagittarius, it rules the hips. So you would think, she'd be having some hip problems or thigh problems. So before we get too carried away with delineation, because that's what we do,
Yeah.
let's go through the months. So I won't say the 20th, so just understand that each month it changes over on the 20th. So we have September, and there's the first house month would be October, the second house, natal second, but the third for the year would be November.
Yes.
And then the following house, which is the third, but the fourth for the year, would be December. And then we would have January for the fourth natal house, and February. So we got September, October, November, December, January, February, right? So February is a very significant month because that's where Jupiter is. So you'd expect there would be some sort of travel there for her. So then we've got February, March, April, May, June, July, August. And then when we change over from September the 20th, it would go back into that first house.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so we don't have to worry too much about the Vidari because there's no planets ruling at age 71. It would be the North Node years until 73.
Interesting.
So we could also add that into our interpretation, which is in the finance house. So finances should be fairly good. It's still ruled by Saturn, so there's a lot of discipline she has to do. So there probably is some frugality, for that, for those 3 years while she's in her North Node year. Okay, but back to the perfection. So hopefully that is understandable. The age, you find the age of the native. And then that first house becomes the first month and governs the year. So that Lord and all those aspects also to those lords are really significant as well. So she's got a lot going on, right? This lady also always has a lot going on.
Yeah.
Ever since she's been a student of astrology. There's been things that have been happening to this native because she has all these aspects, and she has a few applying aspects. So when they're applying, it's much more happening.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we clarified that. And so September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. I'm pretty sure it was this June month that she's gone away. She's still away. Oh, she's going away for like months.
That's for aspects.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the ninth house is. That's where both lords are aspecting as well.
I just love how that happens. Hey,
I know.
when you look, you can see it.
I know. But as like I've learned not to predict for people like this the exact time they will go away. Sometimes I'm put in a position.
It could be when she's in her third house month, her fifth house month. Like there's so
Exactly.
many connections.
I
It could be
know.
Mars.
Exactly. It can be Mercury, it can be the sun, because they're triggered through
when they're
that
all
Mars time frames.
Yeah.
The Jupiter months, it can be that.
There's so many connected planets.
Yeah.
Everything is pretty much.
Yeah. It can be the moon months because Jupiter squares the moon, so there's a lot of time frames. And she has traveled quite a lot in her life anyway. Okay, so that is that.
Yeah, that's
question.
a great example.
Hopefully that answers that one. What was our next question? Was this morning you threw one curveball?
Yeah, it's something that I often I just find it fascinating how some people I don't know, I often find people who've never been asked to do jury duty always really want to do it. And then sometimes people who get called on jury duty are like, why is it always me? I've been, I've been called up 3 times. And
and a question like that would, for me, would entail hours of research.
Yeah, of course.
And to find the signature, right? But even when we're doing this in a natal chart or for the world, there is a common sense and an astro common sense that you would follow. So for me, I'd expect that the Lord of the first rules the 7th and the 10th.
Okay.
So let's put up a chart. Not my chart because I've actually done jury duty.
And how many times have you been called to jury duty?
Oh, twice.
Twice, see? Yeah. So it shows, doesn't it? And then other people all go their whole lives and never be called up.
Yeah. So I have the Lord of my ascendant, Jupiter, in the 5th house. I mean, I have Jupiter and Venus. And Jupiter sextiles are very closely, tightly, but it's a separating aspect now with Mercury. And it does also sextile the sun. And Jupiter rules the 10th house. So why would I be using those houses? Firstly, the 10th house is a court.
Yeah, government.
The government. And the 7th house is like your open enemies, other people.
Yes, they're both quite public houses, aren't they?
Yeah. Being angular, that normally are, they can be like that. And I mean, we could even say, the 7th from the 10th would be also a connection because that is like the government's opposition,
Yes. Yes, that could be more like the government is coming after somebody. Rather than if it's 1st and 7th, it could be more like an open enemy or
So I thought it was quite a lot of fun. I really enjoyed jury duty because I have Jupiter that rules that 10th house. And that's me. I'm in the fun house, right? So it was just the most nicest experience to sit in these comfy chairs. And at that stage, I was working in a warehouse, and so I was running up and down stairs, and like every minute counts, and you're working like crazy, and to sit in these chairs and then have 3 hours for your lunch and mosey around the city, and you didn't have to pay for parking because the government tagged you on that, so everything was just lovely.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about your jury duty.
Yeah, which was not pleasant because I had to juggle. I didn't get called up for a case, so I had to keep returning every single day and for the entire week, and then leaving at 12 and then having to go and do my job because you don't make money otherwise if you don't get called up on a case and you get dismissed. So then I'd have to go and work for like 6 hours until the evening every night, then do it all again the next day, go back to the city, wait
Where
around.
the company paid me
Yeah, no,
still,
I didn't.
and they could get reimbursed by the government, but they found it so convoluted that they just didn't bother. Like our
Yes.
accountant just went, it's
Something similar to
too
that, but for
difficult.
some reason, because of my job, they were like, "Well, you have to come in and work in the evenings or whatever." So I was
Okay,
like,
so they still needed your
so
body.
yes, I think
Yeah.
it was something like that. So for whatever reason, I had to juggle it all around, and it was just all, and yeah, it was a complete waste of my time. But in a way, though, I am grateful that I didn't get put on a case because I almost got put on one, which was not nice. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't. If I did,
Yeah.
it would have
Yeah.
been on the last day,
Yeah.
and it would have been the most like worst case. So I'm so glad I
Yeah.
didn't.
Well,
So
mine
that worked
wasn't.
out.
Mine wasn't that bad.
Well, that's
And
good as well.
it wasn't
Mm,
like some
horrible.
pedophile or
Yeah.
anything like that. So I
Mm.
was very, very fortunate. And of course I would be. I've got Jupiter ruling that 10th house, where you have Capricorn ruling your 10th
10th,
house,
yeah.
and Saturn is in your 11th
Yeah.
house, and you have the opposition with
Yes.
Jupiter as
Yeah, it
well.
was like it worked out, but not as good
But it's
as
more
you.
Saturnian,
Yes, exactly. It was
more hard
like
work.
it was really hard.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't lie.
uncomfortable,
Yeah, I'm
that
still
kind of thing.
bitter about it. I
Yeah,
don't want to get caught up again.
yeah,
But I feel
yeah.
like because it's in my chart, like obviously because it happened, I'm like, oh, am I going to be one of these people where
Yeah, but
when I hit a
yours,
certain time,
but when we looked at your chart, you have a sextile between the Lord of the 10th
yes.
to your ascendant.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's how that gets connected to you,
Mm,
because your natal chart never changes. So if it's not stated in your natal chart, it's not
yes. Yeah, you could come
it
into a Saturn or Jupiter time,
won't
but
happen.
it won't
Yeah,
be that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's stated in your chart, so there's a conversation there that connects these houses,
Mm.
it will happen someday. And yeah, so look, it's very vague because I haven't done the
Oh,
research,
yes.
and normally
Yeah.
some a topic like that I would actually type up a class.
Mm.
It's like, let's say, why some people make money, some women or men make money from sex, prostitution.
Mm.
So this is in my head to do this, and I already know the signature, but I want to write it up, type it up for the students. So then I would look at all these different charts, and to make sure that what I'm going to say is going to be as honest as possible, and people and my students are going to be able to look in the chart and go, oh, okay, so that person has that. So there is that potential that a 90% chance that person is going to make money from being to be a sex worker.
Mm.
So that's what I would do with this as well, because this is just, it's too big a question for just something very vague
Oh,
to me.
yeah,
But anyway,
definitely.
that's how I would go about it to start off with.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
that's interesting. Thank you.
So yeah, that's our questions that we've been asked, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have any questions, please, you can post them or yeah, send them through to
Yeah,
us.
a lot of people just sort of call me up or
Yeah, you can ask us to make another one of these. We like doing these ones, don't we?
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit more sort of variety
Casual.
and
Yeah.
yeah, we can have a little look. Yeah, and sometimes it can give us a bit of inspiration to work on for a full episode as well.
True. Okay. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, and bye for now.
Thank you.